Hi, this is Zak Mir with the US penny stocks highlights for Monday, the 10th of August. Starting off with Adamas Pharmaceuticals, where you can see there's been a nice break of the 200-day moving average there, the orange line around 390. And while we're above that, looking for that rather steep March resistance line projection heading towards the $6.80 area. Great setup here with that extended wedge and then the gap higher out of it, normally a sign of a logjam breaking, and certainly the follow through today underlines that. So above the $3.90 level, looking for 680. Time frame, but the next by the end of the month even could be that could be achieved. On to commercial vehicle group here. Classic sort of situation here, the recovery from March and then breaking a near-term resistance line, in this case the June line, and a bear trap, a brief bear trap from below the 50-day moving average, currently rising at $2.50. The view at this stage is that we can get a decent end-of-day close above the last resistance around $3.22. Today, initial targets, the 200-day line at $4, and the top of the channel at $7 could be seen as soon as the end of next month. Only really back below, what's that, 250, really killing the idea of a lasting recovery on commercial vehicle group. IRIX, I think I looked at a few days ago, or IRIDEX rather. IRIX is the stock code, but here we've broken near-term resistance, neckline resistance at $2.30, and that line of resistance from February. So while we're above 230, looking for further gains. Already retested that early June spike at $3 plus, but the big picture target here by the end of next month, or as soon as the end of next month, is up to the top of that channel from last summer up towards $4.80. So looking pretty set fair on that, and possibly going to a golden cross there between the 50 and 200-day moving averages as well early this week, which is an added bonus on the technical front. Couldn't resist looking at Eastman Kodak after the white knuckle ride that we've had over the last month or so. Stock clearly overshot on the upside, and I would suspect the shares have actually overshot on the downside as well. We had the gap up and then the gap down. Interesting that we've come back down to the trading range of the 28th of July. Then at that stage we had a close just under $8, and looks like the stock has found some support versus that closing area. So $8.50 the low at the moment. While we're above $8.50, chance of closing the gap at least, or at least one of the gaps down, up towards $15 as a very speculative situation. But the theory there really is not so much the technical side, which there is some symmetry there, but actually more on the side of the shares having overshot on the downside as badly as they shot on the upside. Platinum Group is next, a stock that you'd expect to be doing well at the moment. It hasn't done perhaps as sparklingly well as you might have hoped, but still we've had a triple gap higher at the end of July, and then retraced that. A bit of a throwback to that old June neckline resistance around $1.90. Current situation is that end of day close back above the initial July resistance, or the end of July resistance rather, at $2.50. We can get above that on an end of day close basis. Looking towards the top of that rising January trend channel, implying a target towards $3.40 as soon as the end of this month. Stock which I believe is new to this particular sequence is one that's coming up right now. Here we see Quest Resource Holding Core breaking through the 200-day moving average. That's at $1.80, and as we've done, we've broken it also through the 200-day line as well as the neckline resistance around the $1.70 area from post-May. This looks like a pretty strong situation. At least while we're above the 200-day line at $1.80 on an end-of-day close basis, looking to the top of the channel there from December, as high as $3.15, and that could be seen over the next 2 to 4 weeks, given the current rate of progress. New name for this particular sequence is Rubius Therapeutics, difficult to resist looking at anything in the pharma or therapeutics area at the moment, because it can always be the next big thing. Nice to see a gap higher from what was basically a bear trap below that initial May support, just around the $5 level, so gapping up there. End of day close above the 50-day line at $5.97 should be a decent trigger for the shares to eventually go up to that March resistance line projection as high as $10 as soon as the end of next month. Stop loss at this stage, probably the end of day close back below the floor of the gap at $5.20 should just about cover the situation. On to Synchronoss Technologies, which again I think is another new stock here. Another bear trap gap reversal, also gapping through a rising 50-day moving average, which is an extra plus point. At least while we're above the 50-day line at $3.35 on an end-of-day close basis, we're looking towards March resistance line projection as high as $5 over the next month or so, hopefully even by the end of August. Just a few to go now in this rather extended session. Here we've got SEACOR Marine Holdings, classic here, and probably one of the this is the best sort of setup here, where the risk reward is the whole thing is reasonably tight, i.e. we're near the bottom of the range, we've broken a line of resistance, and we've broken above the 50-day moving average at $2.62, while we're above that on an end of day close basis, looking up to $6 over the next 4 to 6 weeks. Stop loss on the buy argument back below $2.50 if you can afford that as a money management point. Stock which I have covered before, Trevena, starting to do a little bit better, or it did at least earlier in the session. Gapped higher today, which is always a notable thing to do. The view now is, at least while we're above the floor of the gap around $2.75 on an end of day close basis, we're looking towards an October resistance line projection up to $5 over the next 4 to 6 weeks. A couple to go now, and still pretty decent in terms of the setups here. Usio broken through a line of resistance from, well, actually the beginning of 2019, and also through that initial 2020 peak at, rather the May 2020 peak at $3, while we're above $3, looking for the top of that broadening triangle from 2018 up to $5, and hopefully that is hit by the end of next month. Last but not least is this stock, Xtant Medical Holdings. Here you can see that we've had rather a spiky price action over the recent past. A couple of, well, there's gap higher and a massive spike there from near the 0.6, 0.7 or the 60, 70 cents area. Similar move today, and the view at this stage is that at least while we're above resistance on the way down, which was $1.65 in May, we're looking for further upside, and that could be the top of that rising trend channel from October, heading up to $4, hopefully by the end of this month, if not midway through September. That's it from me today. More updates tomorrow.